Welcome to a new series of Fight Night as Liverpool's Sugar Gibiliru aims to become the first to defend successfully the British super featherweight title. He's up against the former champion, John Doherty. The hoodoo that's haunted the title struck again 6 months ago when Gibiliru dethroned Welshman Robert Dickey, becoming the 11th different champion since the division was reintroduced 5 years ago.
In the 9th round, and the real underdogs won it, and there they go in the ring there, catapulting in children, relations, everybody, and you can understand that. What a happy man this guy's got to be.
But Gibiliru is confident he can break the jinx and defend the title, even though 10 others have failed.
I'll tell you this, I'll be the first to defend it. Anyone in Britain, super featherweight, you think they're strong enough to fight me, come and get me.
So we return to the Stockport Town Hall to see if Sugar Gibiliru is as good as his words. The challenger, John Doherty, well, he knows a thing or two about the highs and lows of the super featherweight division. Doherty was ironically the first to lift the title back in 1986, but what a roll call of disasters in the past 5 years. Pat Caldell won the title twice. Doherty has 2. So, if Doherty is successful tonight, he wins a Lonsdale belt outright. So, Jim, why has the title changed hands so many times?
I think there have been a few reasons, but first of all I would say it's been a good division with quite a few very even matches which could have went either way, and I always seem to have gone the challenger's way. A couple of times the favoured champion has maybe taken the challenger a little bit lightly. I think that happened with Robert Dickey, and look what happens. And there have been various reasons, but it's certainly a very exciting division.
Now, Gibiliru is the most unlikely of British champions, only 13 wins from 47 fights, but could he become the first one to retain his title?
Well, he could. You have to remember, Gibiliru, all his career, he's been giving better fighters all sorts of trouble. A lot of his fights could have gone his way, a lot of the decisions that went against him could have gone his way, so his record doesn't really tell the full story. I slightly favour Doherty here. I think with the Lonsdale belt at stake on the night, he has beaten better class than Gibiliru. I slightly favour, but I don't strongly favour, but I think he slightly has the edge.
Thank you, Jim. So there you are, an intriguing British Super Featherweight Championship for you then. The champion Gibiliru against the challenger Doherty. Scheduled, of course, for 12 rounds. Jim's on his way now to join the other half of our regular commentary team, Reg Gutteridge. But before we hear from them, let's first of all join our regular Fight Night Master of Ceremonies, Vince Miller.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing at 3 minutes each round for the Super Featherweight Championship of Great Britain. Presenting in the blue corner, the challenger from Bradford, Yorkshire, John Doherty. And in the red corner, from Liverpool, Sugar Gibiliru, champion. And the official weighing, both boxers scaled 9 stone 4 pounds. Your official appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control are as follows. Your chief steward in charge, Mr. Dennis Watson. Your medical officers, Dr. Sim and Rosenberg. Your timekeeper from Sheffield, Mr. Frank Capewell. And your referee for this main event contest, Mr. Roy Francis from London. This is the main event of the evening.
So referee Roy Francis can get himself in good working shape doing this fight. He's also doing the Eubank and Watson fight on Saturday. So will this now be yet another jinx fight or not? It's certainly created a lot of atmosphere. It's sold out at the Stockport Town Hall. I like the smart trunks then of the new champion, Sugar Gibiliru. He really punched his way through a load of bruises and 4 defeats and wins in his career to win the championship from Robert Dickey. But John Doherty, he's also won it a couple of times now. The 9 stone 4 division between featherweight and lightweight, that is, now called super featherweight. Once introduced way back in the 60s when Jimmy Anderson won it, and then the Boxing Board of Control dropped to the game and brought it back. And really, the noise is, the acoustics here, the noise is bouncing off this almost wedding cake looking stuff inside here at the Stockport Town Hall for the scheduled 12-rounder. And Sugar Gibiliru, I don't know if he's ever been in a poor fight in the 47 that he's had. So now, as you heard from Gary Newbon, 10 have failed to make a first successful defence. And yet Doherty, if he won it, would own the Lonsdale belt outright, because you don't have to win 3 successive fights, so long as you win 3 championship fights, even if you had a break between them. But it was quite a dramatic finish by Gibiliru last time, but well, different opponents, different styles, different endings sometimes. He did a very good destructive job actually wearing down John Doherty against Floyd Havard, Jim, as you remember we covered in Wales, and I doubt whether he can do the same here, because Havard was then having hand trouble as well, and he quit in the 11th round. But he's a smart fighter, Doherty, isn't he?
Yep, and it can be a frustrating fighter. Having said that, Gibiliru has started very confidently. His left hand is looking nice and sharp. His left lead, he's pushing Doherty back, as he must do as often as he possibly can. It's a good, confident start, but the fight hasn't really started yet. Just having a nice little look at each other. And Doherty just building up a sweat, I think, before he gets down to work. But this really is another good match for this championship.
Doherty's fans are mostly of Irish extraction by the look of it in their green, and really chanting. Parents come from County Derry, but he was born in Bradford. So there's the countdown then for the opening round. Well, they had a good look at each other in that opening round. Some good, sensible boxing going on there. And there's the rundown. As we say, he's actually lost more than he's won, and yet he doesn't show any signs of battle, really. For 47 contests, he looks in good shape, Gibiliru. And winning a championship, well, obviously, that gives him a new lease of life. And since he's been with tonight's promoter, Jack Trickett, a few years now, he's really done well, and he's on a winning roll. Past 3 years he's been with Trickett. John Doherty, a bit older, of course, and been around when he lost to Pat Caldell, and right back in '86 when he beat the other Doherty.
10 seconds.
3 drawn contests on this fella's career. But what about Gibiliru? He had 7 draws.
Round 2.
Out for round 2. And referee boy Francis Lee, boxing board star grade referee there, just blocking our cameraman for a second there. He's managing to keep well away from these two because they're getting on with it, and there's no flouting any rules at the moment. Become very popular in the Manchester Stockport area, isn't he, Gibiliru? And of course, obviously a big support from his hometown Liverpool.
Yeah, the good thing about Gibiliru, although he has lost a lot of fights, he spent all those years and all those defeats learning the business, and you can now see the improvement. I mean, the way he's stepping in behind the jab, he's not reaching. Doherty's difficult to pin down, but Gibiliru is not reaching for him. He's stepping in with the punches. He's not throwing the punches until his feet are close enough to make sure they're going to land. There really is a confidence about his work now that we've never seen before. And he's beginning to pin Doherty down in the early stages here. Doherty is going to have to sharpen up. See, Doherty again being caught. Doherty's not normally the easiest man to catch early, but Gibiliru is getting right on top of him here.
There goes with confidence on a winning run. Last 8 on the turn now. He's won Gibiliru. There was a time when Damon Runyon turns, you would call him just the opponent, but he's far from that now.
There's always the danger of Doherty cutting. He's cut several times in the past and cut badly. His defence is a little bit loose at the moment, so he's certainly taking chances as far as cuts appearing is concerned.
He must be a good trainer, Jim Gibiliru. He travels daily from Liverpool to Manchester for his workouts.
Well, what he certainly must have, Reg, is a tremendous attitude to the game. The game has never really done him any favours. Everything he's managed to achieve, he's worked hard for it. He knows he has to be in shape. I think all through his career he's been taking fights at short notice, so he's used to keeping his body in shape, and now he's reaping the benefits. He really looks good, in good shape tonight.
Doherty looks as though he's trying to out-general him a bit, but that may take some doing if we judge from what we've seen here so far, and certainly against Robert Dickey last time up.
Well, Doherty looks as though he's quite happy to allow him to dictate things for a round or two and just want to frustrate him. But it's not working because he's allowing Gibiliru to get too close to him and the punches are landing. So he's not really frustrating him, quite the opposite. Gibiliru's confidence is growing. So I think Doherty's going to have to come back with some good solid shots.
See, this fellow, he's fought so different weights, you know, that's why he seemed to handle any type of opponent. From 9 stone 4 right up to 10 stone 5 he's fought. But he only had 8 amateur contests, so he's very much a seasoned pro. And Ray Farrell in the corner with him. And of course his dad, the old Sugar Senior, on the outside of the ropes. And look at this replay now, Jim.
See how Gibiliru is walking right over the top of Doherty. He's not reaching with the punches, so he's getting good power into these punches. A little bit untidy there, but you can see his technique is improving.
Corner 10 seconds. Second round, round 3.
Third round. And you notice the referees these days, particularly the star grade ones, are standing in the centre of the ring to stop anybody bolting from the corner as the bell goes. And that happened when Lloyd Hannigan did that, when he rushed over and tagged an American. He stalks an opponent well, the champion, Jim.
Yeah, that's where you can see his technique has improved. You know, he's not wasting any steam. He's just following around, throwing the punches when he feels he's in punching range. We have seen Doherty in the past start slowly in a contest and build as the contest goes on. But that, I mean, that's a dodgy tactic against Gibiliru because he's so strong. And you have to fancy Gibiliru to still be strong in the last couple of rounds of this fight if he's still there.
Well, the only way there can be a jinx for Gibiliru to lose this and the way he's boxing at the moment. I don't think he could even worry about that, actually. That doesn't mean anything to him. If he gets on with his work, he gets about this incredible record of losing first defences. He's a cagey old customer, John Doherty, though, Jim. There's a long way to go yet.
Yeah, he is a quality fighter. He's been in with some good company. Has some good records, some good names on his record. But Reggie, he's been caught so often, and he's been caught with wide punches. As he's pulling away from the punches, Gibiliru is stepping in and still catching him with them. I think if I was in Doherty's corner, I would be telling him to tuck up a little bit more and drive some solid punches back at this man. Gibiliru really looking confident here.
Got to try and stop that forward march, yes. Cuts the ring size down, you see that? He followed him around there, and there was nowhere to go. But the Doherty fan club there, just in the aisles and against the walls, all standing. They don't want to know about sitting down for this.
Doherty beginning to put a little bit more power into his counters, but no effect. Gibiliru taking them well.
No, he's been in with some good punches in his time. He once got a draw with Pat Barrett, who's now the European champion at 2 weights higher at the moment, but he can punch, and to get a draw with him was a good performance. But he did lose the return to Barrett.
Seconds out. Round 6.
Round 6. Good start by the champion, Gibiliru, and now the ex-champion, Doherty, is coming right back into it. Jim, I would think it's about level now.
Well, I have Gibiliru just slightly in front because of his work rate in the first 3 rounds. Doherty, for me, didn't do enough. He came in with a good 4th round. The 5th, it was difficult to separate them. I have Gibiliru just slightly in front at the moment.
A little bit too long and a wee bit slappy, that punch, the right hand by Gibiliru. It's just backing away from it, so it's lost its power there. But still, nonetheless, that's 3 on the turn I was going to say without reply, and then Doherty's thrown a couple to say, hang on, stay off a bit. He's moving I was going to say, the right way to get out of the right hand, but he's walking back clockwise now, Doherty. A good atmosphere generates a good contest too, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, Gibiliru's always in good fights anyway, Reg. Always good value for money. It's nice actually to see him boxing at British title level. I think nobody deserves it any more than he does.
Yeah, the same could be said really for John Doherty. We've seen him quite a few times now in good battles.
Yeah, well, he's always been a title. He's always been at title level for years, but it's nice to see Gibiliru coming up there. But Doherty obviously has earned everybody's respect over the years. So we're only having close rounds now, Reg. There's nobody taking charge now. It's still Gibiliru coming forward, but it's nip and tuck as to who's landing the more punches. Just maybe slightly Doherty.
Good pace, this championship, and it appears to be getting faster. So a little bit of aggression here in the replay, Doherty, Jim, as he's going forward. There it is.
Yeah, well, unusual because usually Gibiliru we see going forward. A little bit untidy, the heads banged together too, but thankfully no blood appeared from anybody's eyebrows.
Round 8.
Out for the 8th round then. And as Jim was saying earlier, that the old writers would say, a bit of a nip and tuck battle, this one. No judges in the British Championship, remember, and none where you have, if one boxer went down 3 times, that they would stop it. That's only in some of the World Championship fights. So if it does go the 12, then the decision is entirely with Roy Francis from London. And a great amateur in his day, the well-known Brixton Eels skinner.
Gibiliru still having trouble pinning Doherty down.
If you were working in Gibiliru's corner, Jim, what sort of advice?
Well, I think you just have to realise what Gibiliru is good at, Reg, and that is just coming forward and plenty of ticker. I mean, every time he's had a round where he maybe hasn't done as well as he would like to have done, he comes out the next round full of fire and really gets stuck right into the other fella. He's always been like that. I think you just have to keep pumping Gibiliru up and just keep sending him out to set the pace. That's what he's doing here. For the last couple of rounds, it's not been quite so easy to pin Doherty down. So he's just got to work and work, see if he can wear him down. If he can't pin him down, he's got to try and wear him down. You see now you can see him missing by quite a bit now with some of these punches. That's a little bit of frustration now, maybe.
Yeah, that was really by the mile, that one. It really is old-fashioned throwback boxing, really, by John Doherty. It was a time, Jim, where there was a great deal of boxers like this who could craftily win a fight, move round the ring, steal punches, good countering.
Yeah, Doherty really is a good quality boxer. See, I think the difference between the two of them in this round, Reg, is that they're both putting in a lot of work. But Gibiliru's punches are catching shoulders in the back of the head, whereas Doherty's finding the target more often.
It's got to be fairly even, this one. I think I've probably got John Doherty maybe one round ahead. Jim, how do you score it?
That's how I've got it at the moment, Reg. Keeping in mind that's just how I'm looking at it. We've got an excellent referee in there who may be seeing it differently.
Yeah, very unofficial, our scoring. Well, must emphasise that.
Reg appeared in Doherty's left eye, just between the eyebrows. I don't know if it's from his nose, there was a little nick. It doesn't look serious, but certainly not good news for Doherty, just when things are beginning to look quite well for him.
Oh, that'll be a shame now. It's a good contest, right between the eyes. It's out of harm's way in boxing terms, though, Jim, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not a serious cut at this stage, but the last thing you need, and that's probably just a little incentive Gibiliru needs. He's landing some good punches now. It's up to Doherty really to show his professionalism here and not let that affect him. He mustn't change his tactics because he's been boxing so well in the last couple of rounds. Just for a couple of seconds here, Doherty was a little bit dejected, but he's got himself back together again. Oh, yeah. The blood is coming.
Yeah, it doesn't look as though it's running into his eyes. He's not making any gesture to wipe the blood away at all. But as you say, Jim, it's spurred Gibiliru on, isn't it? And it's I tell you what, Sugar's supporters have also spotted it. And they're waving him on.
Gibiliru was a little bit dangerous with his head there. I think it was accidental. I think he actually tripped. But there was a little clash of heads which won't help things much. But it looks as though it's a cut that Doherty's corner should be able to control. It doesn't look a bad cut, Reg. Doherty just keeping it out of trouble. But with the fight being so close, he can't really afford to lose a round while he looks after that injury. He's going to have to work at the same time as show a bit of care.
Doherty still smartly won't allow Gibiliru to climb on top of him too much. He's still always trying to keep the contest at range.
That probably couldn't have happened at a worse time for him, Reg, just when he was getting his act together.
I remember Jim Doherty was cut when he won the title for the first time against the other Doherty, Pat von Croydon.
Yeah, well, he's been cut before, so he knows how to cope with it. He's coped with it before. But in a close battle like this, it's just the last thing you need.
So the cornermen have to earn their corn here, all right. Keith Tate and John Solovansky using the adrenaline swabs there. That's the only coagulant that the border control will allow, and they have inspectors in the corner, and the doctors inspect beforehand the coagulants that they're using. But it's difficult to tell. It's when it's across the eyebrow that there's more trouble, but it looks sort of between the eyes.
Corners. Corners, 10 seconds.
I'll just cover it over with a bit of Vaseline after they've applied a bit of pressure and some, it's surprising how coagulants and there to give an idea. It's just above the eyebrow in the middle there, Jim.
Well, I would imagine Doherty will just move around the ring for the first half minute, 45 seconds, just to let the medicine settle and then maybe go to work. But Gibiliru again really fired up.
10th round. Constant chanting by the Doherty fans, all standing at the side of the Stockport Town Hall here. Handled the fight well, Roy Francis. Minute to gone in the 10th. Good battle this, Jim, isn't it? Really sparkling the whole way through. Plenty of grit.
It's a cracker, and once again Gibiliru finding that heart just to drive himself forward, and he really looks in good shape too. He doesn't look to be feeling the pace, although he's missed with quite a few punches, which tends to tire a fighter out. He still looks plenty of steam left.
They've done well staunching that blood, actually, Jim.
Yes,
there's a bit showing, but it isn't serious.
No, they've done well with the cuts. So Doherty's going to have to go to work in the last minute of the round here. I think he backed off a little bit in the early part. This is what I thought he would do, give the cut a little time to settle and maybe try to finish the round strongly.
Yeah, they were accurate punches too. Sense which one has had more desperation in his work, Jim.
Yeah, but it's been that hectic pace all the way through. Neither fighter had a split second to think what they're doing. But it really is, it's another cracker. This really has established itself as an exciting division.
It's a real case now, the crowd spurring them on. They've done it right from the start, and it's getting louder as we go on now. The countdown at the end of the 10th. Cracking round this one.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 11.
11th round, 48th fight for Gibiliru, and it's the first time that he's gone past the 10th round. It's almost unbelievable. And Doherty actually has gone 12 rounds on 3 occasions. So now, will this last 2 rounds turn the fight or not?
Well, it has still to be close, Reg, because just as Doherty seemed to be maybe getting himself in front, the cut appeared and he had to change his tactics. Gibiliru reacted to the cut positively, had a decent round, so things must be still pretty tight. Doherty still the more accurate of the 2 punchers, but Gibiliru the aggressor all the way through.
Referee France has got a good record of decisions in close contests. He usually gets the right one, and even if it's only by a half point. They don't score the full point in British boxing, only in world class. So a minute gone in the 11th. Doherty steals a lot of punches, Jim Doherty, and I got a feeling he just might have his head in front, but I think it may rely on these last 2 rounds, you know.
I think so, but Doherty's been doing a little bit of everything. There's good defensive boxing, good evasive boxing, some attacking stuff, good counter-punching. Gibiliru, it's been a tremendous performance all the way through, but he's just kept stalking forward. He's been running into some punches, some missing the play a few of his own, but he's kept every round so close.
That's the first little nag that Roy Francis has had there, the referee. Just said, watch the heads there. Doesn't want to spoil a good championship contest. This.
See, there have been so many rounds, Reg, where you have really to think twice before you pick who's won that particular round. Really have been some close rounds.
Yeah, well, the man closest to the action has got a job on his hands here. It's very unusual for championship fights to be called a draw. Technically, they should always be able to find the winner, the man who hits more correctly, does the leading off and shows the better style. All that kind of thing is in a referee's mind. It's a very subjective business, scoring boxing. Real old general, isn't he, at work there? You've got to hand it to him, Doherty, Jim. He picks his punches cleverly, no change of expression on his face. He seems to know what he's doing all the time. In the meanwhile, the champion's getting on with his share of work too.
Doherty has good concentration, Reg. I mean, he's really boxed under pressure for the complete 11 rounds. His concentration has never lapsed one.
Well, now, can either one make sure in the last round? Because we would have a cliffhanger, this, Jim Watt and I. But I would lean, I think, towards Doherty if you forced an opinion.
Corners, 10 seconds. Second out, 12th and final round.
So 3 minutes to go in this championship now. Are we going to have that jinx again of a champion losing in his first defence? Or will the referee think that the Sugar Man has done enough early round punching anyway, and he's always done his share of punching, but again, I think the cagey boxing and the smart stuff and the scoring has come from John Doherty. But it's a very close one nonetheless. Yeah, but
I mean, when I find it difficult to split them, Reg, I just realise that Doherty has shown a little bit of everything. You know, it's been attacking boxing, well, not too much of that. Good defensive, evasive, good putting punches together, keeping his chin out of harm's way. He's shown just a little bit of everything, a real clever old pro, and he's responded to the pace perfectly.
A ring general, isn't he?
That's exactly what he's been like. He's quite happy to back off. He's quite happy to allow Gibiliru to dictate the pace, to come forward. And I think that, for me, has just edged Doherty in front.
Just listen to that noise there, Jim. I think the Doherty supporters are out shouting the Gibiliru anyway. Although he's got, I would have thought, a larger support from Liverpool and Manchester in this area. It's a bit of a longer drag from Bradford to get here. But the Irish contingent have really been shouting their man home. Now, he won't mess around at the end here, Roy Francis, the referee, because he'll have his score right obviously up to the end of the 11th.
See, Gibiliru hasn't really been catching them cleanly in the latter stage. In the last third of the fight, you haven't seen him knocking Doherty's head back the way he was earlier. His punches are just that split second off. Doherty slipping them or catching him on his shoulder. So here we go again, 2 punches thrown, Doherty slips them both, comes back with the counters. Well, a cracking battle, but I feel that Doherty maybe just, again, nicked the title, and the hoodoo lives on for me.
So it's about a minute to go. And we've got them all around us here at the Coventry position, people leaning over there. I mean, it's ridiculous. These fighters can't hear them, trying to give them instructions. They've done everything now for 12 rounds. They certainly can't come out with any new tactics now. It's too late for that.
I think that's another little nick up here. There's just a slight little nick, and got the same eye of Doherty. But
they've done well to patch that up, Jim, haven't they?
Yeah, did a good job in the corner, and Doherty himself coped well. He kept on with his act.
Well, a little bit of suspense going on now, isn't there? A few sweaty palms among the supporters, and, well, maybe even referee Francis, although I've known him a number of years. He's a very cool, calm customer.
Well, Gibiliru's corner still screening him on, Reg, whereas Doherty's are quite calm. So I don't know, maybe if Gibiliru's corner feel maybe he's just struggling slightly here, I don't know.
Well, now there it is, and he's got it. John Doherty, the jinx, has struck again in the super featherweight division. You couldn't lay the odds on that now. That's 11 have fouled in their first defence. But this fella fought a real throwback craftsman's game there. The Irishman from Bradford, and well, he's won it once, and now he's had 3 championship fights. He's won it twice actually, but he's had 3 winning championship fights, and the Lonsdale belt is his. The best prize in sport, in my opinion. Well, this fella's had, well, his share of losses. You know how to take that, but losing a championship after such excitement of him winning it last time must be a great blow to this fellow who's only had it now a reasonably short time. He couldn't have given a full point anyway. So trainer Keith Tate is well pleased, and a lovely sporting finish of a very good British Championship fight. And that's the moment now that counts for him. He's won it outright. The Lonsdale belt presented by the board steward Dennis Lockton.
Congratulations, the belt is yours. You can keep it now. Were you aware about this hoodoo where nobody can hang on to the title? Because you've lost it twice before.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there might be a bit of a hoodoo with the amount of favourites that have gone down. I think there must be.
Were you conscious of that going into it, that it keeps changing hands?
What I was hoping was it would be playing on his mind. I was happy enough anyway. I felt I could beat him. And the preparation for the fight's gone absolutely fantastic. Really well.
You look very classy towards, once you got going, you were slow starting. Why were you so slow starting?
Just feeling my way in, working him out really. I didn't want to set off and, you know, try and get caught with a big shot. I just wanted to go in, feel him out. When I worked out his moves, then I'm going to counter punch him then.
It looked though as if the fight was going to change in the 9th round with that cut. It looked a bit worrying.
True enough. Well, a clash of heads, it can't be helped. It's one of them things. It happens quite a lot with me because I'm a bit upright.
So, you're champion again, a remarkable thing. I mean, for the 3rd time, the belt's yours. Where do you go from now? Because if you'd have lost, you might have had to think about retiring.
Yeah, definitely.
So you would have retired if you lost, but now you didn't lose. What happens now?
I'll leave it to him. Probably a defence, I would imagine, of it.
Well, the promoter, Jack Trickett, claims that he's agreed terms with the Doherty camp for a rematch with Gibiliru next January. If it happens, it'll be a terrific fight. Meanwhile, Fight Night returns to its normal Tuesday slot next Tuesday, when Scotland's Donny Hood will be making the defence of his WBC International Bantamweight title.
Oh, caught each other there. And quite rightly, he's counting that as a knockdown.
Bantamweight.
So Donny Hood gets it.
So that's when he won it. Now Donny Hood defends that title against Ghana's Rocky Cummey next Tuesday night here on Fight Night. Meanwhile, here at Stockport, the remarkable story of the British Super Featherweight Championship continues. No champion's been able to make a successful defence. When it was first reintroduced in 1986, John Doherty of Bradford was the new champion. The latest champion? John Doherty of Bradford. Only this time he wins the Lonsdale belt outright. Good night.